another quick ladder or quick battle ladder replay. Today I am playing the Skaven, taking on the Vampire Counts on the Gorgazan map, a nice flat map. So I haven't really gone with the gunline Skaven that is so popular, but we'll get to my army in a second. So coming over to my opponent here, front line of Graveguard, so pretty decent anti-infantry shielded. Some skeleton spearmen just protecting the flanks and the sides. 2 units of can rates. Actually like that in this match because you know, Terra obviously affects Skaven pretty badly given their low leadership, and there's not sort of an abundance of magical weapons. They can sort of be worked down with plague. I think plague. What are they called? Plague wind globadiers and that sort of thing, I believe, have magical attacks, but a lot of the actual shooting attacks don't, which probably should, like Jazals and that. So interesting choice, but we'll see how it goes. Some Crypt Ghouls. Crypt Ghouls pretty good for just tearing through Skaven slaves and low tier infantry like that as well. Poisoned attacks as well can be pretty handy. A couple of Black Knights and a unit of Blood Knights. And my opponent has gone Manfred von Carstein, who has taken an interesting selection of spells, actually. He has not taken Invocation. He has taken Fate of Buna, and he's gone Doom and Darkness. So maybe a bit of an idea from my opponent to do a bit of a terror bomb here with the can rates and you know, do some chain routing and that kind of thing. So interesting choice. I was expecting to probably see a Blood Dragon Vampire Lord, but you don't see Manfred as much anymore, but that's a cool choice, so cool to see something different there. For my own force, I have the obligatory front line of Skaven slaves, speed bumps with spears, a couple of clan rats with spears as well, just mixed in, the clan Vulcan tail slashers, as well as some regular clan rats. I have the Natty Bubo's sharpshooters here. We'll touch on them in a minute because they're pretty key to this build. A couple of units of rat ogres in the back just for some mass. And just to stop, you know, to tear through infantry. If he's got things like that'll be pretty effective against the Graveguard or pinning Manfred in place if he lands. I've also taken 2 units of the Warp Grinders. I don't have a big backline to protect, but I was weary of just of rear charges and that kind of thing. So wanted to try them out. Have the Council Guard, Stormvermin with halberds, fantastic unit, obviously good stats, pretty hardy, and being unbreakable is pretty massive against the Vampire Counts in particular, Skaven. For my heroes, I have taken a Plague Priest. He just has the 2 summons. He's on his Plague Furnace, so he does have that Mortis Engine effect, which is good for just grinding down in the infantry fight, which is important against Vampire Counts. And I have taken an Assassin and a Master Assassin as a bit of a hit squad. So good for sort of, I guess good for teaming up on things like you know, if my opponent's taken a White King or something like that. He obviously hasn't here, but good for double teaming White Kings. If they go Vlad on foot, even these guys can have some good engagements. But the main reason I have taken this is the Master Assassin is, funnily enough, his synergy with the Natty Bubo sharpshooters. Like I said, I was expecting to see a Blood Dragon Vampire Lord on a Zombie Dragon. So with the Looming Dread ability, which can only be used on heroes or lords, to lower missile resistance, speed, and melee defense if they're in combat. These guys basically were taken to snipe out the enemy lord. Obviously, a very common tactic against Vampire Counts and undead factions, given how much importance their lord has to the overall build with heals and summons and that kind of thing, and just the fact that they're very powerful characters in their own right. But you know, basically just keeping that Looming Dread on basically every cooldown I can, and concentrate as much of these guys' ammo. Obviously, they're pretty accurate, given that they're a regiment around. They're slightly more accurate than the regular Jezzails, and obviously just with great stats as well, great damage output. So I am moving up here. These guys are going to start ripping some shots in, as you see, and I'm bringing the Master Assassin forward. Just to sort of, obviously they're hidden, so my opponent probably doesn't know what he's taken, but he probably knows what to expect at this stage. And there you see, there it goes down, Looming Dread, and we'll see, we'll show you just here how much damage one volley can do. He needs to keep on the move, but look at that, about 400 damage in one in one volley from one unit of the Jezzails, and that'll be that's these guys have one task in this game, and that's bringing him down. So the front lines are about to hit. Obviously, getting the it's going to go horribly for the absolutely horribly for the Skaven slaves. They're going to get absolutely buckled, but bringing the Rat Ogres forward, because I do see that these guys are actually Graveguard, not just Skeleton Warriors. I'd probably hold them back a little bit longer if they were just Skeleton Warriors. Once again, Looming Dread's come off cooldown. I'm just holding these guys back. I don't want to commit them into just fighting regular infantry at the moment. The Plague Priest is doing his job here, and we'll see down comes the Seismic Snare and the Warp Quake on these guys, getting them stuck in place. Some Clan Rat Spears. Actually, bring over the Council Guard. They will rotate over to try and polish off these Black Knights. On this side, he's going the double cavalry. So once more, I am reacting with my Warp Grinders, just turning my Clan Rat Spears to face to try and make sure that they can get their charge bonus off. Unit of Summoned Plague Monks in the back here from the Plague Priest is going down, and at this stage I've been able to just use the summons basically to buff out the front line. Obviously my these Rat Ogres got a bit overexpended and went into the spears, which wasn't a great thing for me. But these Rat Ogres are, they're getting worked down as well, and I think they've actually been terror routed by the can rates. But over here, I'm working down these Black Knights slowly. The Warp Grinders are doing their thing. These Black Knights are completely offline, and I'm just bringing more spear infantry, holding them out, not committing to the fight before they need to be, because they need to be able to plug holes as things start to rout. The Mortis Engine effect here is just chipping away all the stuff in the front line, so some even damage going down here, and I will bring the Council Guard back in just to buff out the Natty Bubos. But you see the work that they've put into Manfred, and I believe there is about to be another Looming Dread go down on him. Yep, there it is. So Manfred is really on his last legs, and as you saw in the beginning, he didn't take Invocation, so he has to be in combat to heal through the hunger, which gives me an opportunity to maybe bind him in place with the Warp Grinders if he overextends. The front line's gone better for me than it probably had any right to. Manfred's on his last legs going down, and the Warp Grinders have done their thing against the cavalry over here, so they'll probably pup there. Seismic Snare. Manfred actually gets a miscast there. So yeah, here, Seismic Snare going down on the Black Knights, fading them out. I am getting a bit of a chain route here in my front line, but the Council Guard are holding here. Basically, I know Manfred's gone down. I can sort of wait it out now. Things are starting to go in my favour in the front line, slowly but steadily. The Plague Priest is really healthy. My Master Assassin and my regular Assassin are still online and fighting, so my leadership's good. The Knights are pretty much all offline, even these Blood Knights here that are fighting. They're starting to sort of hit that point where they're crumbling, and my opponent realizes at this stage that nothing for it. I had obviously some regrouping infantries here, and I had pulled the Natty Bubos back that had a little bit of ammo, but a good win there. So basically showcase this. I really think the Master Assassin is one of the more underrated non-legendary lords in the game. Skaven do lend themselves to being a gunline faction. Obviously with Jezzails, rattling guns, you can go warp lightning cannons. They've got even things like Skaven slaves. I mean, they're so cheap and they're pretty pathetic in their own right, but a high number of unit models means a high number of projectiles, which means the constant sort of ticking of damage. The fact that they're expendable is a factor as well. And the Master Assassin really plays into that whole theme of being the gunline army really well with Looming Dread. Obviously more than capable in combat, particularly with things like the Rival Hard Talisman and the other sort of area of effect debuff. They can pick and choose their fights, because with Concealment Bombs, he's got a shooting attack himself, so he can sort of kite things if he needs to. I think he's a really, really solid Lord choice for the Skaven. And you saw there, I mean, I didn't commit anything. I mean, other than Natty Bubos, which I think cost just over, I think they're 1,300 gold or 1,400 gold. I haven't committed anything else into shooting attacks, but obviously knowing what I'm up against here in the vampire counts, you snipe their lord, you're pretty much on the path to victory. Now my opponent did have some stuff sort of healthy in the front line. Graveguard can be tough for Skaven to deal with, given their anti-infantry, they're shielded, they have pretty good stats. The can raids gave me a bit of bother with terror routes. But all my infantry had to do was hold. That was my win condition there. Sniping Manfred or sniping, like I said, I was expecting a Blood Dragon Lord, but seeing Manfred's cool. So I just wanted to sort of highlight this game because it's one little. I think it's an overlooked feature of the Skaven sort of Lord choice, of the Skaven Lord choices, and overall, I think it actually fits in their faction really well. So. A quicker game, but a good way to highlight sort of a different way to play that many people wouldn't suspect with the Skaven. Most people just auto go Skrulk. So yeah, bit of something a bit different. I've been playing a bit of the Skaven lately and enjoying them. But thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.